The Wellness Show, episode number 325.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more.
This is The Wellness Show. This is your host, Tyhson Banighen. I guess I'm just a mystic shaman. Sometimes I'm just in the mist and I'm not very mystic, but here I am. So once again with the live show every morning on COVID-19, how to get out of your own way, how to prepare for change and transformation on this planet Earth. Hey, welcome to the new Earth. And my co-host, Laura Kuhl, who's a fourth generation psychic. And we're going to answer all your questions and that we know from the latest and the greatest. And we like good questions when we have to tune in and ask source for the answer, because then we get to learn. So just to let everybody know, this is not a medical show. We're not doctors. What we're doing is helping you relieve the stress and duress and how to manage yourself in this times of massive change on the planet. Because if you're stressed, your immune system is depressed. So our job is to help you take back your power and stand in your truth, deal with your stress and duress, how to be calm in this moment of transformation, how to strengthen your immune system. So no matter what's coming at you, whether on whatever level of consciousness, you're there and able to deal with it. So welcome everybody. We have a number of people on the show. So, Tony, how are singers in your life?
Good.
Good. You got any questions?
No complaints. I'm still trying to wake up here.
It's early in Arizona.
It's early in Arizona. It's early on the West Coast, too. They're probably earlier than you. Yes, 9 a.m. in the morning here. I mean, it's 8 a.m. in the morning here. When we were doing it at 7, it was really a shock. 8 is bad enough, but 7 was way too early, right? I haven't had my morning coffee, so I'm a bit slow, but we're up and running. So, Tony, did you get to listen to the water cure, the last show?
Oh, yes. Very impressed. Yeah. You did a good job. And I learned a lot, I mean, little salt in water can make such a difference. It's truly incredible.
Yeah, I know my buddy who works in maintenance and is outdoor during the summer always makes sure that he takes salt tablets. Otherwise, he just doesn't have the strength to do the work outside, especially when you're sweating. So it's really important. We'll get the recipes, I'm hoping, out of the show on Thursday, get really clear on what the recipes are and how you figure out the poundage, how much water per person and how much salt per person, and get that really clear. And we should be able to. Laura, did you get the book at all? Have you seen the book?
All right, I have not.
I'll check my email and get you, see if you sent the book yet.
Okay.
Yeah, more homework on top of everything else to read about the water cure. So the thing that's important about the water cure is, again, like everything else we're talking about on this show, is how to strengthen your immune system. As we learned on the show yesterday, without the proper amount of water in your system and the right salts or minerals, then your cells can't operate correctly and you're stressed, which is really hard on all of your vital organs, particularly the kidneys, because it can't flush out the toxins. And as we know, we live in a very toxic world, right?
Right.
Herbicides, heavy metals. We are surrounded by a soup of things that really shouldn't be in our bodies. And so being able to flush out the toxins is extremely important. And water is important to do that. And the salt gives us the Himalayan salt gives us the trace minerals that we need to make, as he said, help the actual cells fire. And then last but not least in all that equation is the blessing of the water, which puts in the energy into the water. My belief has always been that water is the greatest medicine known to man, and it will trump any man-made medicine on the planet. So that's been my belief. and I'm sticking to it. And it's nice to know that the water cooler really does substantiate that the right amount of water drunk at the right time can really flush out any disease or disorder. And again, we're not doctors. We're only helping you make your own conscious decisions on what you want to do with your life. All right.
Well, it was going around on Facebook, at least I saw it, that to drink lots of water as this virus goes around, because they think that if it sits in your throat that you can go down into the gut and then be passed through.
Yeah, I found that when they do the research on that's not true.
Good.
It won't stop you getting it, but hydration is important. Having the sip of water periodically to keep your hydration up is really, really important. So, it's not going to stop the virus, but if you do get the virus, the whole idea is if your immune system is strong, then you'll be able to repel it and heal quicker. So that's the whole goal here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
We also need to protect water. Nobody talked about protection, just to be careful how we use it and protect it.
Yeah, absolutely. By doing ceremony over it is extremely important, Tony. And as he said, when you go to the hospital, the first thing they do is you put on a saline drip because they find that anything the doctors want to do for you won't work unless you're hydrated. So
Hydrated, yeah.
He went on to say, and when we talked together before the show, that, basically you're in the hospital and the major thing they do is put saline solution into you over a 4 or 5 day period of time, and you're paying $500 to $1,000 a day for somebody to put water in the saline solution into your body. So better yet that you do it at home and you don't spend $1,000 a day in the hospital having somebody put it into you intravenously. So anyway, it's a good way to prepare for it. There's lots of evidence. He doesn't talk about warm water, but there's lots of evidence that I've read about where taking 1 glass of warm water, we put it in mineral drops, which are highly activated mineral drops into our water, and we also put in apple cider vinegar. Not 2 or 3 times a day, Sarah?
Just once a day.
I mean, 2 or 3 times a week.
Every day.
Every day we do apple cider. How much apple cider are we putting in the glass of?
About a tablespoon.
About a tablespoon, okay? So that really is helpful. And we use mineral drops that are available in the wellness store. And so that's really important.
So they've got all the essential minerals in it. And the taste of everything, I tasted them this morning and that's strong.
Tastes terrible, and as our mom said,
on its own, right?
It tastes terrible. It must be good for you. I don't know if I believe in that theory.
I think it's very concentrated, Sarah. Poor darling. Yeah, it is. It's expensive, but that's why I appreciate his recommendation of pink Himalayan salt in a teaspoon in a gallon of water. Yeah. Very helpful.
The other thing we do is iodine, and we also then do a bit of borax. Borax is to clean out the third eye, right? And the value of the third eye at this time is the third eye gives you the opportunity to be that all your clears come online. So this is really good to be able to have foresight about what's happening to you at this time of planetary change and transformation. It will help you know intuitively when you're in the right place at the right time or there's danger. So having a clear third eye, pituitary gland is, I think, a valuable thing to do, okay? And the major culprit to that is fluoride in our water. Do not drink fluoride water, right? So
toothpaste.
Or toothpaste, yeah.
Or toothpaste.
But someone had also mentioned that, like, if you buy ketchup or anything where they use a significant amount of water and they're using fluoridated water, it could be organic, and you're still getting the
you're still going to get it. It's just like pesticides and herbicides. Even organics, there's the blowover, and now that they're doing chemtrails, there's there's aluminum and everything getting all over the plants and all that yucky stuff. So yeah, we do the best we can, knowing that we're living in a very unclean planet by very unaware people, or either they're very, very stupid, or they're very, very diabolical, and maybe a little bit of both, right?
I don't think human beings are diabolically. I don't believe that they're
Well, anybody
like me or
from a plane.
Yeah, but who's actually like who's in charge of doing that? You know, like
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Trump had that like minimized a great deal.
Well, the point is, whoever's doing it, there is somebody that is doing it who is either they're really, really dumb or they're very, very diabolical. So for all of those, you know, everybody was created by source, and everybody's here for a reason. They're, you know, in a conspiracy theory of light and dark, good and bad, good and evil. However, they're only judgment calls. Whatever the forces are that are opposite to you are only there for you to wake up. So let's wake up, and then we don't need that alternative force to be waking us up because we know better. So, you know.
And what does waking up, if we had to explain it to people who didn't really understand, what would waking up mean?
Waking up is to be able to know when you're connected to source consciousness, and you know that you're safe and sound no matter what's happening around you, especially during these scary times. And that you ideally that you can get clear guidance, which is really, really hard to do when you're under stress or you're under stress.
Fear.
Under fear. And at this time it makes it even more difficult to get out of fear. And of course that will cause any of your clears or your ability to douse or any of your psychic abilities to not be accurate, which means then you can be controlled, right?
Right, absolutely.
So
I felt though this morning waking up that the ether felt calmer to me. I mentioned that to my sister this morning. I don't know why, but it feels calmer for some reason.
I think you're like me. I think you don't live in a populated area, right?
I usually do.
Yeah, but you're with your sister, so you were in a larger center.
Small, it's very small. We call it Hootersville.
Yeah. So the point is that, when I turn on the news, I only allow myself to watch the news once a day or sometimes I'm sneaking in twice a day. But I really have to work on myself after the news. The news is so scary, right? So that I have to be aware that I can only handle so much of that without starting to lose energy. So the news is really good to know what you were working on and how to transmute it. And back to the original point, there is evidence about, and I was excited to find that there's scientific evidence about what I was talking about, that viruses, all of life can be literally transformed by consciousness, right? And so the exciting thing is we can actually work with the virus, COVID-19. And, the virus brings about change and transformation and burns through what doesn't serve the body anymore. And either you survive or you terminate, right? In the worst case scenario. And if we are the conscious cells of a brain on the planet called Mother Gaia, and we're part of that brain system, then we are the individual cells in the brain, right? Are you with me? And so like we're the body of the earth consciously, right? So collectively have a body of humanity. We even use that term. And when that body is sick and we have a virus, right? Then there's an internal fire that's going through all of us to clear the planet. So we have an opportunity to change that virus and the intention of the virus. We can either say, like anything that's happening around us, like any external influence, I'm the victim, it's going to do this to me. Oh my God, it's terrible, which is true. Or we can say, wait a minute, I can take back my personal power and stand in my truth. It's my world. I can transmute the effect of that virus, not only individually, but collectively. And the things that we do, as we say, is we improve our immune system, but that doesn't mean that you can't, if you pray over water, you can pray over the the virus and make it into a positive virus of transformation. Look, we're never going to be the same on this planet when this is over. I don't think we go back to normal. I think we have a new set point of whatever normal is. And that,
I know I've heard my friends are talking about birds that are showing back up that haven't been around for years and years and years. The sky is clear. The energy to me feels much better, and people are
waking
so
up.
helpful to one another, though.
Yeah,
I mean, so lovely.
Yeah, then that's opening the heart chakra, and a heart chakra that opens has compassion. More compassion means that I can see through. One of the things that your president says is false news, and this is really something that we're really learning about is what's false and what isn't false in this time of change. At least I feel that. I mean, we just had that whole scientist who was talking about, that 5G creates the perfect storm, and talked about 5G in Wuhan on CBC on our national network. They did a whole poo-poo of what his research was, and what they did is they selected out one part of his research, and then they went into the fact that he is also anti vaccination, and then used that they've taken away his license because of his anti-vaccine position, and then discredited him right across the board. And this is the technique that's used, is to discredit somebody by taking pieces of information that they can show that, oh, this person is anti-vaccine, so therefore, you can't rely on them. And no, the 5G was not just in Wuhan, it was in other places, so it couldn't be true that Wuhan did this and whatever. But they never talked about the science behind what he said, and that is that our immune systems are compromised by the fact that there's chemtrails. And of course, the press never talks about chemtrails because it's a black ops operation, right? So they can't talk about it. It's suppressed information. So they don't talk about glyphosate in the food system because they're supported by the chemical companies, right? And they would stand to lose all the advertising from using pesticides and herbicides in the growing of crops. They're not going to talk about that. And they're not going to talk about fluoride in the water because that's controversial, and the status quo wants fluoride in the water, even though there's evidence that it dumbs us down. So what I'm saying is all of the research behind that is all poo-pooed as not being relevant. So therefore, we can just throw the whole thing away, that what he's saying is not correct.
Right.
So I just want people to be aware of being very, very careful about what's true and what isn't true.
I really think people are waking up. I do. The town that I grew up in, Wisconsin Dells, Lake Dalton, they've taken fluoride out of their water, or they've announced that they're going to stop adding it to the water. Then all this information came out too about like how tooth decay then increases, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I haven't had fluoride in my water for over 20 years, and I have no cavities. And I'm not one to shy away from treats every now and again either, so you can't.
Oh no, confession. Confession show.
It's the wellness show. You need a little cheat every now and again.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, when I'm in a restaurant, they have fluoride in the water. I can't drink it. It just, my body's so sensitive. I pick it up. I can smell it before even my nose gets too close to the glass. So I can't drink it. My body just doesn't want it.
It's true.
Yeah. What I want to talk about just for a sec is we have a dowsing course coming up on Friday that I want everybody to know about. I can't remember.
Yes.
Laura, can you remember what time that dowsing course is? I think it's at.
I think you said 10 and 11, right?
Yeah, I think it's on my homepage. You want to check it out. And I want to make the whole thing focused on COVID-19 as an example of why dowsing and energy healing, why it's important to know the truth of something and how to do it, how to get accurate guidance, how to get accurate results from dowsing. So the whole focus will be, how do we stay safe? How do we use this ability to know what's good for us and not good for us? So we'll go through different ways of doing that. Like,
it really gives you the power back to be able to determine yes, no's for yourself. And instead of always listening to everybody else, you can get your own answers for yourself. And then as time goes on, you can determine whether those yes and no answers were correct or not. Well, then it just gets stronger and stronger.
Absolutely. But on what I want to do is I want to help everybody also understand where they are in their own energy field when they come on. So we're going to do a baseline inventory of how open they are when we start, and then at the end we're going to see if we can have everybody closed. So you'll know what it is when you're not in your human mind conscious or have these doubts and fears, and what it feels like when all that's cleaned out of the way. And hopefully you'll be able to feel the difference in your body. And I'm hoping that we can then program that in. Like what would it take for you to feel like this 24/7, 365? And how can you do this? So we're going to do some quality control around everybody's dowsing and see if we can get it as accurate as possible during the class.
Absolutely.
So that's the goal.
The basic, I never say her name right. Ozig? You know who I'm talking about?
I do.
I'm sorry. We're just going to call you O. She posted it. Basic dowsing and energy clearing for COVID-19 workshop. Join us Friday, March 27th at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I'm assuming that's Pacific?
Yeah, and that's 2-hour class.
So that would be 11 a.m. Central Time Zone, noon Eastern. And you will leave this 2-hour practical basic dowsing and energy clearing workshop knowing how to do all the stuff he just said. Right. And it's $25, right? So
I think it's more than that. I think it's 44.
No, it says 25.
Oh, I lied.
Doesn't it?
I think it's 40.
Oh, the deep clearing protocol. I'm sorry. It doesn't say how much it is.
It's including two other things. It's including a copy of the deep clearing protocol. And
wow.
And it's including clearing the planetary timelines of control. So you're getting all that for $44. Okay. And we're going to talk about
that's worth just that. That alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a steal.
It is. That's a really, hey, you guys were jump on this. He don't give deals.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about planetary timelines of control and why we need to do that collectively on top of everything. And if we have time, I'll talk about the brain clearing protocol. I just revised it yesterday for a client because they were having brain fog. So it was developed by a friend of mine in Australia. And I do have her permission to use it with select clients. I can't put it out there publicly in any big way, but we've decided to work together. So anyway, I've enhanced it and I'm still giving her credit for it. And anyway, it's available, and I don't know if we'll have time to do it on the call. We might run it through for those that need it. And anyway, if you're having brain fog, if you don't have clear thoughts and you feel like you're just just in the fog, then this would work.
Well, could the fog include like anxiety? Because I know a lot of my clients are super anxious right now. Yeah. They just don't know what's going to be happening. And so it's hard to be calm. Everyone keeps saying, be peaceful, be calm. But if you have this underlying anxiety and you don't know what to do to get rid of it, boy.
Yeah. Number one, turn that TV off.
Yeah.
Turn that TV off. Go for a walk. Like, restrict your TV to 1 hour a day, period. Because there may be alerts that you need to be aware of in your community on how to go shopping. Like, don't to take, but right now we have to take boxes to the store for our groceries, and there's all sorts of things we need to know about what to do and not to do, and when the lockdowns are happening and all the rest. But other than that, you don't need to know the latest person who's dying in whatever, right? We don't need the body count. It's just going to put you into fear, right? What you need to do is focus on your home, focus on your loved ones, focus on you and your own energy. Go for a walk, play Scrabble, do whatever you need to do. Talk to your friends on the phone, but stay out of fear. Yeah, there you are. Play cards. I don't know.
We're gonna play a
I
little
don't
poker.
have time to play cards, but everybody can play cards on my behalf. All right.
Everybody's got a little time to play a little bit, like relax and play a little
That's true. I do play cards online, so that's true. Before I go to bed. So, do we have any questions out there?
Yes, Eduardo had one earlier. Let me look. I'm sorry. He said, "Hello, everyone. Court of Atonement. I watched the wellness show. It's great time to make peace, forgive, and love. Please talk about the Court of Atonement. I purchased the PDF pamphlet." And then yesterday, great show yesterday. He drank 20 ounces with the sea salt this morning, muscle tested. Thanks to yesterday's show, blessings. Yes, warm water, body temperature. So Eduardo's going along. He joins us every single day, and we really appreciate him. He comes up with the most wonderful questions. So you want to talk about the Court of Atonement, or you want me to start?
Well, Eduardo, what would you like to know about the Court of Atonement? What's your question? You're on.
Yes, I watched your wellness show on the Court of Atonement, and I was pretty impressed. I am doing my own work on the side where I'm forgiving, and I'm going through relationships, family, and I'm writing things out, going through limiting beliefs. But the Court of Atonement, I was quite impressed how succinct and how direct it is. For example, I kept having somebody in my mind who I didn't like them for some reason, and it wasn't me doing it. I noticed that it was like the ego mind. And so when I muscle tested myself, even though I had written about this, and I have no gripe against them, and I have forgiven myself and them, but then I asked, can I do the Court of Atonement after I learned it? And it was yes. And that was like the missing link, is really just to put them in a higher realm and let our souls talk and make peace and love. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we think that we were over it, but there's so much conditioning we have, both on the personal level, but also in our soul family, star family, and our original family, our family of origin, that we can not know where the roots of this are. And in particular countries, this is even more dramatic, or in certain cultures and traditions where they've used curses and voodoo and black magic and as a way of retaliating against each other, thinking that it's somebody else's fault, rather than realizing that it's always an inside job, that whoever's showing up in your life is showing up for you because there's something you need to learn inside of yourself. So somebody's being mean to you, well, there's something inside of you need to be looking at. But we're so used to pointing the finger outside, that old adage, you point one finger at a person, there's three fingers pointing back at you. That's so true. So the nice thing about what you're saying with the Court of Atonement is it takes it to another level. It just it takes it out of the personal realm. It gives it to the angelic or to source consciousness to bring that to the Court of Atonement. And when Amy Jo said that at one point she was actually had the experience of what it was to be in the Court of Atonement, and others have had similar experiences, is that there literally is run like a court, but it's at the soul level saying, did you realize when you said da 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 that so and so thought that na 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 na? Did you realize that? It's done at that level, and people get to understand it in a way, what was happening in a deeper way that they would never figure out on this plane. So what I mean by that, on this plane, we have no idea why somebody is going through what they're going through in this life, or why somebody's doing something to somebody. We have no way of making a judgment, because if we go to the soul level, we made these contractual agreements that somebody would do something to us for a certain thing that at the soul level we wanted to know. But at this level, it looks horrendous, and we want to judge them, and we even want to maybe criminalize it and put them in jail. But at the soul level, when all is said and done, and they both, pass over, they hug each other because they did such a tremendous job of the learning that the soul needed on that level. So we have no idea. So putting things into the Court of Atonement allows that upper level to sort things out according to the law of one, do no harm, and the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. So Edward, there's 5 interviews with Amy Jo Ellis. So take a look at all of them. I think the last one is, and I'm not sure if I can find it. It's called Dancing with the Devil Isn't So Scary. That's the last one we did.
I'll look for it. On YouTube, I found the other four. The next, I'm gonna watch the second one. What happens is that I had the spelling incorrect. I thought it was the chord, but it's spelled court, C-O-U-R-T of atonement.
Oh, but wait a minute, you did it right too. So when I introduced it to my meditation group, because we run Divine Mother Energies, I said the Court of Atonement, and they thought it was the Cords of Atonement.
Yes.
They ran the Cords of Atonement, and it's a very, very powerful. It's like, have you heard the expression, the harmony of the spheres?
No.
The harmony is the spheres is when you can hear all of the celestial interplay of all the energies. It's called celestial. What did I just say? What did
Play. Celestial play?
No.
Or Cords of Atonement?
No. So I called it the celestial. What did I call it, Eduardo? I'm having a bit of a brain fart here.
I thought it was celestial play.
Yeah, no, it's anyway. It's that's what it is called. It's music of the spheres. Okay.
Oh, music of the sphere. Okay.
Yeah, that's the celestial realm of the music of the spheres. Is, you know, you could call it interplanetary sounds. You could call it the choir of God. I don't know what you want to call it, but at that level of oneness, it is really like a symphony. And so when we say the Cords of Atonement, we're actually plugging into that level. That's what I think. And we found that when we run it as a Divine Mother Energy, so Eduardo, to play with that, just say, I call a Divine Mother who comes to with a wholeness, totality, and truth, to please run the Divine Mother Energy of Cords of Atonement. And then sit with it. And it will be just absolutely amazing experience for you. Let it run for you in and around and through you, you know, for as long as you want. And you could then thank Mother for that and ask her to continue to run it for whatever duration of time that you want. So that's called the Cords of Atonement. So you didn't get it wrong. You got it right. You just didn't know it. And then Amy Jo's work
Thank you.
is the Court of Atonement. And that is actually like it's like it's like a court of reconciliation. That's how I would describe it, right? Where we're bringing everybody to reconcile all their misunderstandings at that level.
Mm-hmm. And it really works. I've done it, and it literally, like, sometimes it works like within hours, and other times it takes weeks. But I'm telling you, it works.
I can tell you, it's working in my life. I mean, I'm doing many things, but yeah, anything I put into the Court of Atonement, if I put it on the back burner, I call it Divine Mother's stove, right? I don't know, but if you had a great grandma or grandma that had a wood stove, she always had a pot simmering on the back of the burner of the stove, and that she'd make as for soup stock, and she'd keep adding things to it. So I have a pot on the stove, on Divine Mother's stove, that I just add things to it. So I'll put a little carrot in there. Oh, I need to work on that. I'll put that in there. Oh, I need to work on that. I'll add that on there. I don't take the pot off. It's always simmering. It's always working. So I'm always adding things to my Court of Atonement. I will run specific ones for specific situations. But if it's got a certain situation, I remember another part of that situation, I'll put it like another piece of carrot or something into the pot. So I keep it going, right? I leave it alone in the sense that it's always simmering, but I'm always adding to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right?
And you really have to let go of the outcome.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm letting go of the outcome. And the more I let go of it, the faster it happens. I mean, I've had things like my brother, who I haven't talked to for years, phone me, and I got to go to my niece's wedding, and we got to, we were in each other's arms crying. There's a court action that went on for 6 years, and that got terminated and resolved. There's there's a situation after every situation. I can say a big ones, and I put the biggest ones in my life in the Court of Atonement. Every single one has been resolved.
I know.
I'm running out of things to put in the Court of Atonement. The big ones.
Well, you and I could get into it, and then you could put me in there.
That's right. That's right. We'll put the planet in there.
Ooh.
Put humanity in there.
Then you better let go of the outcome on that one.
That's right. Well, we have to anyway.
I'd like to add. I'd like to add something.
Yeah.
Yes, in your interview with Mary Jo Ellis on the Wellness Show in 2017, she talked about the PDF pamphlet she put together was about 10 pages. The script for the Court of Atonement is only is very short. You just basically fill in the blanks with the people you're working on yourself. But what's beautiful about the PDF is that she's added to it, because it's actually 47 pages long, and she did mention she would add to it. So I'm looking at the table of contents, and just to let people know, on her website, she only has it for $5. So she does it out of love, totally. I mean, I'll just read a couple here. It says, talking about healing conflicts, trust. Another section says illness, addictions, obsession, compulsions. And it just goes on and on. How often should I do it? And so she just really is rounding this out into a beautiful document. And there's 2 other pamphlets app that can go along with it. This is the first one I'm starting with, but just to let you know that there's a lot of value, and it's based on love.
Yeah, there's book 1 and book 2, and we were going to get Laura to do one for the deep clearing, but we haven't got her to do it yet. And that would be, I've started a video series on that. I think there's 10 videos that are why do the deep clearing and how to do it for each situation. That's about, I know, maybe 10 years or 8 years old now. It's where I take each situation and do a short clearing for each one of them. And I've been keeping those and some of those posted, and we really need to do what Amy Jo does and put it into a booklet, so that, and with an index, so that you can use a short clearing. You can look at the short clearing for each situation and also come up with your own and adjust it. So
you haven't done a clearing in a while. You, at least since we started this like daily show, you haven't been doing any clearings. Hint, hint.
Well, so what are you saying there, Laura?
Anybody want a clearing? Tyson needs to practice.
All right. So let's just see what's up here. So let's see where everybody is collectively. This is what Raymond does. He just checks the whole group. So everybody on the call or listening to the call, on a scale of 0 to 100, what's up with you? Oh, you guys are doing pretty good. Like you're way up there. Like you're in the 80s. So whatever you guys are doing, I want you to keep on doing it. The ones on the show here listening.
We have lovely people on the show.
So let's do it for everybody. So here we go. So I, Tyhson Banighen, in my I am presence with the assistant divine mother, divine father, and the source of all that is, undertake a clearing for everybody on this call or listening to this call. And I take this clearing through the multidimensional levels of reality, throughout all time, space, and dimensions, through the matriarchal, patriarchal lineages, star family, family of origin, and soul family lineages. And I clear this throughout all time, space, and dimensions, both known or unknown. And I'm just letting my pendulum go to rest. Okay, I'm still rotating. There's still some action. Okay, and then we're just gonna, it's just about still now, coming back and forth.
Nice.
Okay, now we're just gonna tune in. And so that's really clear. So if you want to just catch that one, it's more about 35 minutes into the show. So it'll be about the 35-minute mark. If you want to write that one out for yourself, feel free to use it, right? So that's just a standard one that's really similar to the one on the back of the deep clearing protocol. I also have created I am present declaration. I think there's like 5 pages or 6 pages of I am declarations that I haven't published yet, that I've been working on. And they're really good installations. So you would say, I install the following I am presence declarations, and then just do the list, right? Mm-hmm. And then you could do it the list in the same way of checking the list. Is this fully installed? Yes or no? Do I need to do this one daily? Until every single one of them is running. So then you can then every time I touch my thymus, I clear what no longer serves me, and I install in my I am presence full consciousness, or some wording that means that you've run the whole I am presence list. So
and I'll say on this week I had a not very good thing happen to my home in Madison, and so my sister and I were driving there, and on the way there, I started to just spin out a little bit. So I just said clear, 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 and everything just cleared out. I got peaceful. I went up as high as I could with God, and I just relaxed, and everything I just got. Ever since then, everything's just cleared out, and it's all good. It was amazing. It was really amazing. That was the first time, Tyhson, since I've done this in October, that I was very much challenged in my life, and it worked instantly. So thank you.
That's really important to know that it works. So if you're watching this show and you're for the first time, or you're wondering what is the deep clearing protocol, there'll always be in the show notes a link for the deep clearing protocol. It's really 64 statements, like 64 hexagrams in the I Ching, to bring about change and transformation in your life, to take back your personal power and stand in your truth no matter what. And it really does help you clear. And after 21 days of doing it, if you're not totally clear, then we can do some deeper work. And some of the deeper work has to do with any trauma that you've experienced, like a near-death experience, any major accident, a loss of a loved one, or any trauma that you may have experienced, usually between the ages 0 and 7, although it can happen at other times. It could be toxic emotions, core fractures, unresolved conflict. So we may need to do some deeper work. And the Banighen technique, I've developed a number of different techniques from different people that I brought together to help you really do the deeper work. So we start with the deep clearing protocol, run everybody through that, and then if we need to, we go deeper and deeper until we get everybody clear. And just to let everybody know, the Empaths Mastermind, are called Master Light, actually going to start tomorrow. Well, I think we have 9 people or more in that. We're running for 6 months. I'm very excited about this. And we're helping people bring their businesses online. Most of these are advanced healers that have had high-level clients that for whatever reasons have got themselves in trouble because they didn't know how to manage their energy fields. So they either have entities, or they have they're losing energy, or they have brain fog, or whatever. So our job is going to clear them all up, and then we're going to have 9 new people out on the planet, all ready to go to help do the planetary cleanup. So I'm excited about that. So
Good.
Yeah, so this resonates with you. I don't know if we still have room, but we're up and running for the next 6 months doing this. So we've made some agreements with people because not everybody can afford it. And what we've done is everybody's signing an agreement that when we get them up and running, that they will pay us back in full. So we made special arrangements because a lot of people, when they get themselves in trouble, they're healers, they don't really have a lot of discretionary funds to do a program, but they were successful before they had this problem. So there's no reason they can't be successful, or even more successful after the fact. All right, any more questions out there? I see we've got 8 people.
Oh wait, we did have one. Matthew did ask. He said, what about all the different electronic signals going through the air? I think he was talking about that when we were talking about the planetary changes that were going on.
Yeah, definitely. In the brain clearing protocol, I found myself saying, clearing all in non-beneficial EMF, all microwave, all 5G, all smart meters, all electronic surveillance, all government or alien intervention, or any other non-beneficial EMF from any and all sources, known or unknown. So that's a really good clearing statement, is to run that one, because we are in a soup of energy. And if you read the small print on your phone, you will see that not to hold your phone close to your head because of radiation, right? And nobody wants to talk about it. And there's scientific evidence that it is not beneficial for us. And if I could if I could wave a magic wand and we have the new earth here tomorrow morning, I would hereby declare that all cell phone broadcasts must be on a life-supporting vibrational frequency. And there's no reason this can't be done. No reason on the planet that this can't be done. There's no reason to have any frequencies running on this planet that are harmful to humans, to plants, or to life itself. We have the technology to do that. There's no excuses for us being ignorant and bringing damage to each other. So anyway, that was my little soapbox for the moment. So yeah, any other questions out there? So yes, we're in a sea of energy, non-beneficial energy, but guess what? As Raymond says, if you don't like it, change it. So transmute it, right? And if you don't think you can, well, try, and you'll be surprised. Raymond says, if you don't try, you're never going to know. So.
Right, exactly.
All right, anybody else out there?
We have lots of listeners. No one's asking questions right now. I guess we keep answering them all.
Oh, wow, I don't believe a word of that. Okay.
Right?
Right. All right, so we talked about the brain protocol, which we'll be getting out we'll be making available for those that have brain fog, right? There's also another protocol that I've created that I haven't really released in a big way, and that is the 3 brain clearing protocol. And that is the alignment of the mental brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. Because there's more information and more neural networks coming from your gut than there is from your brain, okay? So all of your feelings and emotions come from your gut about whether you feel good, don't feel good. It all depends on what's in your gut. And, you call about the gut feeling. I have a gut feeling. Well, that's not just your food. That's your aha. That's your, oh my God, that doesn't feel right. Or what am I doing here? Or, oh, I don't like that. That's all from your Tianqian. That's all from your solar plexus, which behind that is your gut, right? So that's your nervous. So think of your belly button, right? Your belly button was your cord to your mom. So all your nervous system and all the food channel and everything came for your life support came through that embryonic seed, like the hose that the astronaut uses, right? Going to space, that was your space suit, right? And you're being, you instead of being in space, you were in a water saline solution. Here we are back to the saline solution, right? Floating in that, and you were fed through that. So when that cord is cut, don't you think that still all of those connections, right? It's sort of like plugging and unplugging, right? You were disconnected from your mom, but that energy center is still connected to higher source energy. Does that make sense? So the Tianqian, which is 3 fingers below your navel, is a very important center in Chinese medicine. And it has to do with your solar plexus and your sense of self-worth. And so it's really important that we clear that out, because it will help you digest everything, not only your food, but digest what's happening to you in this time of transformation and change. So you will have a clear gut, right? Or you have the guts, you don't have the guts to do this. We use the gut in many, many ways, right? Just like we say, you don't have the heart.
Right.
Your heart isn't big enough, or you wear your heart on the sleeve, means you're too emotional. So we know that these are centers of emotions. We know that these are major areas of feelings and emotions and consciousness. And when we get the 3 aligned, which is what the 3 brain alignment is, like the deep clearing, it really helps. So these are all forthcoming. They're in the 60-day boot camp, which is a step up from the deep clearing protocol, and in the Take Back Your Personal Power, there will be in there as well. So And we'll be setting it up that if you paid for one, you get it deducted from the next one, right? So when you do the deep clearing and you do your $25 and then you do the boot camp, I can't remember, we've got the boot camp and the $25 is deducted from that. And then when you do the take back your personal power, then if you've done the two previous ones, they're deducted. Of course, if you just want to jump in at the top level, that's fine because all the others are included as well, in the program, right?
Okay, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it is a good deal. I just have to have enough time to finish it all off, right?
Yeah.
Still lots in there, but I want to update it. So, there's nothing wrong with jumping it. The thing is, even if you buy it now, it gives you unlimited access for the rest of your life, as long as you can remember your password. If you can't, you get hold of Tyhson, he helps you get back into the academy. But every upgrade is available for you. So,
Awesome.
it'd be worth your while to buy it now and know that it is in the midst of being upgraded, right? So every time you come back in, you'll see the changes, right?
Awesome.
Yeah,
Now, O has a question. I'm going to call you O because I can't say your name.
let's open her up and allow her to tell you how to.
Okay, good, because she has a question.
I need to do that too. Hi, you want to unmute yourself? You're still muted.
Oh, maybe she's got kids too, so she may be running around. I'll just read it. She said, "What would it take for the giant gliomas on my liver to disappear with ease and grace?" Oh, that was a hard one to say. Hemoglomas. Giant ones, huh?
Yeah, I think
grace.
that we could do a session on that. We'd want to know, what is your body telling you that you're not hearing yet? And once we know that, and like I say, most of that, what your body is telling you that you don't know about, has usually something that happened traumatically between the ages 0 and 7. And it's usually from either a parent or somebody has power over you, or you're pissed off at God, usually one of those, right? And then we figure out what is the strongest one, and then we go after them. And in some cases, if you don't know what it is, then we can do what's called a sound healing, because your brain doesn't have to be involved. It's just your voice that does the guidance to clear what no longer serves you and runs the program and clears it out. So.
And that really works well. Those
powerful.
Sound healing is amazing.
Yeah.
She says she has too much background noise going on because she's got little ones.
So say that again. She says what?
She's got too much background noise going on in her house.
Yeah. And Oz, don't forget, you're going to be on the Empath Mastermind. So hopefully you'll be free for that time without being too crazy. I think it's at 11 o'clock tomorrow that we're having our first meeting. So maybe you can find a babysitter, or I don't know. I don't know. Anyway.
In these times, I don't know, Tyhson.
That's right. All right. So we've got 14 people on the chat. I don't know why we don't see everybody, but anyway.
So we have Eduardo asked, deep clearing protocol. He's on day 33. Can you check where he's at?
Sure. Day 33. Mr. Eduardo, you're at 100%, but keep going, because it'll just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And you should be at this top point where you can just tap your hypothalamus and get clear. So let me know if that's working for you. And keep going. I would go to day 60, because some of the evidence is that it takes 60 days to create a habit. So why not do it for 60 days? And even though it says you're done, like we just said, in the Court of Atonement, there's stuff that is even deeper than our conscious mind and our subconscious, and that it will clear, right?
Absolutely. Yes. That's what I text Laura. I said, I plan to go 60 days plus. Last week when you texted me, it was 75, and it just, I need it. I especially, as I mentioned last week, when we get overwhelmed with the negative energies, boom, I just pop it out. I read the whole protocol, or just tap my thymus 3 times in heart. So thank you. Blessings.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That's really important.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that we have any other questions unless somebody is out there really likes to say
Well,
something.
don't forget, you can phone in. The number's right above me. We have a few more minutes. We can get your phone call. It's toll free
Oh,
in
you know,
America, 1-866-369-7464. Phone in and ask me a question or ask for a clearing on a specific issue.
oh, you know what? I know. We had a question from yesterday that didn't get answered.
Okay.
Oz asked, do you use sea salt every time or occasionally?
I think in the protocol, and Laura, you're doing the protocol, and so are you, Eduardo. I think that you, if I'm understanding it correctly, you're doing it in a gallon container, setting it up. So every time you drink it, you're having salt in that, right?
Yep.
So the recipe, Laura, is what for the gallon?
It's 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, even, not heaping, but even teaspoon in water. And if you're using tap water, he suggests that you allow the chlorine to evaporate, which takes like a couple hours, right? Doesn't take very long.
Or in the moon. The full moon is really awesome to put it in the moon. So let's go back and just do that. So in 1 gallon jar, which is like in here, it's a big, like a pickle jar, right? Or a restaurant jar that they put pickles.
Or a milk jug. Gallon milk jug.
Or a gallon milk jug, yeah, exactly. Although I don't think I'd want to use a gallon milk jug.
No, I was going to say maybe a distilled water would be better jug.
Yeah, but you don't use the distilled water. Do not use distilled water. It will take all the trace minerals right out of your body.
But that's why you're putting the salt back in, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't drink distilled water without salt. I agree.
Okay, so I guess you're right, Laura. I distilled water. Look, if you're getting distilled water from a grocery store or from wherever, remember every person with every thought that passed that water, all that thought is in that water. So please clear it with 995 and 997.
Or shake it and put your own in. Put your own in.
If you have
clear, love. Yeah.
If you have a funnel, you run it from one container to the other, and I want you to pour it on the side of the funnel so it's spinning, going down the funnel clockwise. You energy into it, okay? If you've got 2 magnets, put it on either side of the funnel, tape it on there with your favorite duct tape, the favorite colored duct tape, so that it goes past the magnets and the magnets will re-energize it as well. And then put 997 on the bottle, or 995 and 997, and then put your sea salt in it, and then stir it, right? And stir it clockwise at least 21 times because you're succussing it, right? And then put it into your little bottle, and then drink it all day long.
There you go. It really makes a difference.
Yeah.
If I may add, the saving content of the body is 0.09%. So that's what we're trying to achieve if somebody's a mathematician or if they want to Google it.
Yeah, which brings up the whole formula that will be in the book, which is how much do you drink to get the right amount into your body compared to your weight. And I know he was talking about something about that. Well, I can remember what it was, Eduardo. I think it was half of the weight of your body in ounces. I think that's what it was. But we'll check with him on Thursday.
That sounds correct. I do muscle testing, so I'm going to see where that leads me.
Yeah, it might be good to muscle test and write down that, and then when we get the recipe to see how accurate you are. And I think, muscle testing, it could make it different for each day. So I think that's even a better way of doing it rather than a 1 prescription per person per pound. I like the
Agreed.
idea. I would like to keep it in the parameters of what he's saying. If it's true that it's half your weight in ounces, let's check that out with him on Thursday. But then vary it around that, up or down, according to your dowsing per day, right? Yeah, absolutely. Some days you need more clearing than other days, right?
Absolutely.
Great.
And hopefully, with everything that's going on in the world right now, we're just going to clear it all out, right? And it'll be all good.
Yeah, please join us on the Friday class, and we're going to run through the protocol on clearing the planetary timelines of control.
Yeah.
May not available.
And how do we sign up for that, Mr. Tyhson? How do we sign up for that class?
There'll be a link right in the show notes and right under where you're watching this video.
So if you all that are watching it that are on my page right now, you can come back a little bit later and I'll have a link so that if you guys want to join this, sign up for this class on Friday from 11 to 1 on Friday afternoon. It is $44. Am I saying that right? $44.
Yeah.
And you also get the deep clearing protocol, a copy of that we keep talking about over and over and over. And what else are we getting?
You're getting planetary timeline, clearing the planetary timelines of control. That's another clearing protocol.
And that right there is worth $50. Plus Tyhson, right? Tyhson here is going to teach how to dowse. So right. Y'all want to get a pendulum or what else could they use?
Their finger, their index. Bring your index finger.
But if you can get a pendulum or a necklace.
Yeah, but your finger will do too.
Your finger will do too.
Your finger. The only trouble is hard to know what's a yes or no with your finger.
But we can teach them how to body sway, right?
Yeah, well,
no and yes. Yeah. That's wonderful. But Tyhson is a very good teacher, so I highly recommend that you guys join us on Friday. Call me, text me, let me know if y'all want to join too. And let's get you all signed up. Come on, peeps, and tell your friends and family about it, because if you get to say, ask yourself, should I go outside today and go get groceries? Yes or no. And if it says no, stay home.
Yeah.
Right?
Or what's the safe time for me? These are exactly the whole list of questions we're going to go through on this. We're going to answer every one of your questions. We're doing a Dowsing for you. We're going to teach you. So when you are safe in your home, like, would it be the best time for me to go shopping at 9 o'clock this morning? Right? Will the store be crowded or not crowded? It's just going to make your life so easier, much easier during this time of transformation, to be in the right place at the right time, to be able to move through this whole thing very carefully, right?
Yeah.
And safely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
safely.
You and your loved ones as well.
Yes.
All right. I think we're just about ready to call it. Yeah, it's an hour. I'm at the top of the hour. And
you are
thank
amazing.
You all for showing up. We're back the same time, same place. And Angela is waiting for me. My coach is waiting for me, so I have to run.
Wonderful.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.